All right, this is weird. This image right here, this is weird. I don't know if I like seeing it. I am literally wearing my Erik Karlsson San Jose Shark shirt jersey, and I don't like it. I genuinely am bummed. I'm excited for him. It's one of those things where you're excited for the player, but you're sad for the team. And I'm a big Erik Karlsson fan. He's my favorite player outside of the Red Wings. That's currently playing, and so I'm just a little bit bummed about it, honestly, and I just having a hard time with it. But we today is going to be a happy day for him because we're going to talk about the trade, going over what Montreal got, what Pittsburgh got, and what San Jose got, and my thoughts on what everyone got. So let's just jump right into it. So Pittsburgh put out a nice graphic showing everything they got, and this is a huge piece deal, right? You can look, there's 5 pieces for, or 4 pieces for Pittsburgh, 4 pieces for San Jose, and 4 pieces for Montreal. So that's 12 pieces in total. So you can see that's a lot happening. It's a lot moving around right now. So let's go over the cap friendly, which is a godsend, giving the rundown of the trade. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the breakdown and how this kind of came out, and who's maybe some winners, and kind of give you an idea of what the thoughts are. And in my opinion, all 3 teams are winners in this case. Now, in the deals, it doesn't look like it, right? But when you think about how much is, we'll talk about it. So let's jump over to the Canadians and who they got. Jeff Petrie, Casey DeSmith, Nathan Lejarge. He's from the Pittsburgh Penguins as well. He's a prospect, 2025 second round pick. So that is what the Montreal Canadiens got. What they were able to offload was Rem Pitlick to the Pittsburgh Penguins and Mike Hoffman to the San Jose Sharks. So they ended up, they took on a little bit more money, almost $1 million worth of change of money. But it's okay. That's something that they picked up an asset, and Jeff Petrie, some veteran leadership, picked up a backup goalie in Casey DeSmith, who will be fighting for the net with Samuel Montembeault. But they might want to send Montembeault down to the AHL just to get a little more reps in, but maybe honestly, DeSmith and Montembeault will be fighting for the starting spot. So we'll see, or for a backup spot. And of course, Jake Allen's he still has he has a 2-year deal, so he's going to be around for a little bit too. Then we have Pittsburgh. Let's jump over to the San Jose Sharks. San Jose Sharks, of course, getting Mike Hoffman from Montreal Canadiens, and Mikael Granlund and Jan Ruda, as well as a first-round pick, conditional first-round pick, top 10 protected. And of course, they're going to take on a little more money because they are in a rebuild, so they don't mind taking on that money. They definitely got rid of a lot of money in Erik Karlsson, of course. They did now, however, San Jose did retain 13%, retaining $1.5 million. And Pittsburgh Penguins getting the biggest piece in this deal in Erik Karlsson, Dylan Hamiluk. He's a prospect from the San Jose Sharks, a 3rd-round pick in 2026 from the San Jose Sharks. Again, getting Rem Pitlick. By the way, it's still crazy that they picked up all this and they still got $3 million back. That is just, Pittsburgh is such a winner in this. It's not even funny. It's honestly, they did a phenomenal job. Whether you agree or disagree that they should have gone after Erik Karlsson, being that he's an older player and everything, it is such a smart move, and so I'm really happy for Pittsburgh. I'm really happy for Erik Karlsson. So let's just jump into some of the numbers right here. So I'm going with Casey DeSmith as one of our first jump-off points. So goaltender, he is signed for the rest of this year. Again, he played a decent amount with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he's had good years. And so this is where I think he actually, not necessarily a reclamation project. Let's see how old he is. He's 31 years old. So he's still young enough. So they say goalies don't really hit their prime until they're like 27. It's 27. Hey, buddy, how you doing, bud? You enjoying the video? That's my cat, Oliver. So he's been playing in the NHL for a while. So he has had a huge stint back. You can see 1920 with the in the AHL. But yeah, he's had good numbers though. Look at this. He got a .921, a .916. I mean, he's been a good goalie. He dropped last year with the Penguins, and then of course his goals against average also went up as well. But being that he's a career NHL .912, that's a good position to be in. Honestly, I would be surprised if he actually could be taking that starter spot from Jake Allen. But this is a good pickup by them. I'm really happy with them and with this pick. So jumping over to the next piece, one of the bigger pieces, that was moved, Jeff Petrie, 25% retained, by the way, as well, going from Pittsburgh to the Penguins. A lot bigger contract, right? But of course, it's just crazy that he has a no move clause, and he did want to get shipped out of Montreal, and then he got shipped back to Montreal, which is crazy. I imagine he wanted this, but I know there was a lot of talk about him getting moved and everything. So potentially going to San Jose in this deal as well. So again, but he played quite a bit with the Penguins. You can go over here. So 61 games, 31 points, 26 assists, 5 goals. So again, great veteran leadership in this case. I think he's 35. Holy smokes, so much older. And the nice thing is he has only 2 more years left on the deal. But this is the veteran leadership you're looking for with a young team, a super young team in Montreal, right? Because when you look at this deal too, you got to think about who Montreal was getting rid of. In this case, Mike Hoffman, he had 1 year left on the deal, and honestly, he's more of a goal scorer. He's going to want to try and win a cup. Rem Pitlick, we'll go over him. Actually, we'll go over him later. Actually, we might just jump into him right now. Let's just go to Rem Pitlick right now. So Rem Pitlick actually only has 1 year left on this deal. Hey, buddy, you can't run my computer. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Thank you. And then Rem Pitlick, but again, he's a defensive defenseman. So, but he's not too old, though. So 26 years old. That's not actually that bad. I don't know why they moved off of him, but again, I think they're more looking for just to open up a spot for the younger kids in the league or in their team. So I can see them. I mean, I can just see that they need a little bit of veteran leadership. Again, 26-year-old, you're going to be looking to try and earn a spot on a Stanley Cup team. You're going to be trying to want to make as much money as possible as well. So with Rem Pitlick being only 1 year left, he probably internally requested a trade. Said, "Hey, man, I honestly want to be in a contender. I want to go somewhere that I can go to finish my final year out and really go and try and make a bunch of money next year." And with the Pittsburgh Penguins' aspirations to make the playoffs and everything, he's definitely going to be put in as much effort as he can to show that he's worth it and that he can make a lot of money. So, hi, buddy. All right, so then let's go jumping over to Nathan Lejarge. I'm French technically. I am French, but I can't speak French. So, picking up, this is the prospect from the Pittsburgh Penguins. And getting the second round pick. So this is my thought process on what's happening. They said, Pittsburgh said, hey, we want to get rid of Jeff Petrie. We do want to take him. They're like, yeah, we'll take him, but we don't want to take the whole salary. It's kind of expensive. So here, we'll take Jeff Petrie, but you got to retain 25%. They're like, okay. And it's like, well, an equivalent salary-wise of that would be Mike Hoffman, right? And Pittsburgh's like, hey, listen, if you guys take Petrie, we can offload Mike Hoffman to the Sharks, right? In this case. So, like, okay, that makes sense as a trade. Now, again, he still makes a little bit more, right? So, and you think with this, so then they're like, okay, well, we want Casey DeSmith as well because he's a decent goaltender. We can work with him. So they said, we'll take Casey Smith. We want a prospect and a second round pick because we're taking on some extra salary, right? And also, you're taking our defenseman, right? You are taking our defenseman, and so I was saying, hey, well, we want something back for that. So the money in this case works. I'd say, to me, we'll say, hey, we'll take on Casey Smith and a second round pick if you want to offload them, right? And the pick, and then we'll just swap Rem Pitlick. So those kind of make sense the pieces kind of make sense, right? Because you're taking on more salary. You need to take more salary, so they need a pick and a little bit of prospect, and you're taking a usable player in Rem Pitlick from the Montreal Canadiens, again, who probably wanted out in my opinion. So that kind of breaks down the Montreal Canadiens part of this trade. So we're going to be focusing mostly on the San Jose Sharks as well as the Pittsburgh Penguins. So let's jump over to the San Jose Sharks and who they picked up. Mike Hoffman. What a phenomenal player. 1 year left in his deal. So, and this is actually his second time being in the Sharks organization. He actually went through, I think, in 2 different deals. And so he has been traded to the San Jose Sharks, and he will actually play this time, and he is in his last year of his contract. So with San Jose Sharks, again, being a rebuild team, you are going to be picking up players that have 1 year left, and that are looking to that you can sell off at the deadline, right? As you can imagine, a team wants to pick up Mike Hoffman, who's a fairly desirable player, is a good goal scorer. They're going to want to pick him up, and they're not going to pick him up at that $4.5 million either. Though they're going to, San Jose is going to retain half, so they'll be selling him for $2.25 million, and you're going to be getting a half point per game player right here. I mean, in the last couple of years, right? You're looking at 36, 35, 34, in about so about a half point per game again. So, but if you're looking here with the Florida Panthers, 59 points in 69 games. That was only 4 years ago. I mean, 3-4 years ago. I mean, he's been able to prove that he can play well. And he is a goal scorer. Look at this. He put 27, 29, 26, 36 with the Florida Panthers, 29. Again, he's slowed down a lot in his age right now, but he is 33 years old. So, again, it'd be more of a, hey, maybe they can get like a third or a second round pick for him if they retain half on him. So, we'll see what Mike Grier can do with that. And again, another big piece that Pittsburgh was looking to move off of, Mikael Granlund at $5 million, very expensive, right? And so Mikael Granlund right here going, so again, $5 million, expensive. I mean, they wanted off of him so bad. It's not even funny. And the crazy thing is before Kyle Dubas took over, the Pittsburgh Penguins traded a second round pick to pick up Mikael Granlund, not only for 1 year, but 2 years. So that's a $10 million player, $5 million each year for a second round pick. So you should be taking a second round pick to take that contract on, which is just crazy to me. And it's because Mikael Granlund isn't the all-star player that he has been recently. I mean, look at when they traded for him. He had 36 points in 58 games. That's a good pace, right? But that cap hit, I don't know if he hasn't been that player every time, right? So you can see right here going down. So this is 18-19. So 18-19 when he got traded to the Nashville Predators, 5 points in 16 games, new place, we get it. Half point per game, 64 and 80, that's pretty good. 53 points, again, you're a playmaker. So if he can return to this form, I think they can definitely get a piece off for him. Mind you, the San Jose Sharks still need people. They still need people to play for them. So, and then moving on to the last piece, Jan Rutta, who is a defensive defenseman and a Stanley Cup winner, by the way, a 2-time Stanley Cup winner with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So he has 2 years left and a pretty reasonable contract for. He's a defensive defenseman, so he's not like crazy expensive, right? But he 9 points in 56 games, 18 and 76. Again, more of a defensive defenseman though. So again, a good player, good pickup, and honestly, they could probably flip him at the deadline for probably a third and a fourth round pick, because he has term. That's the desirable part right here with Jan Rutta. He has term, and then if Mikael Granlund can get back to form, that it will be also and San Jose retains money, right? Let's say they retain 30%, 40%, something like that. If they retain half, that would be huge. They can get a much, much better pick. That is unlikely, though. They're going to want to be able to do that. So we will see. And last but not least, of course, the guy's jersey that I'm wearing right now. That's San Jose Sharks a hat that I have that I ripped, that my wife pulled out of the garbage because I was so mad that it ripped. And she said, no, it looks like a shark hat. The shark bit out of it. And I'm like, that's much cooler now. So anyways, moving on to Erik Karlsson, the big deal. Again, 13% retained, $1.5 million. San Jose was very adamant they were not going to be retaining half because this gentleman has a pretty good long chunk left of this deal. As you can see, this is an 8-year deal, and they got him for 4 more years, right? So that means San Jose is retaining $1.5 million for the next 4 years, which means they're retaining $6 million, okay? And for that, they got a first-round draft pick, right? Now, the idea of this being that the San Jose Sharks picked up a first-round draft pick for him, they really should be for moving off a player like that. The goal of San Jose was to pick up cap space. So they wanted to move that cap space so that they can make moves in free agency in those couple of years that he will be gone. And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to send over Erik Karlsson. And I think, honestly, Pittsburgh did a great job here. They were like, hey, take our bad contract, Mikael Granlund. Jan Rutta is fine. You can take him. He's a player, right? They don't necessarily need him. But I can't believe they actually also got a prospect to replace the prospect they sent to Montreal Canadiens, and they picked up a third-round pick. I mean, to me, Pittsburgh Penguins, A plus. Again, A plus. Add in an extra plus because they got $3 million back. They saved $3 million while picking up Erik Karlsson, which is just mind-blowing. I mean, that means they can use that money to pick up another player or two at the deadline, at like half retained, right? And so, to me, it's just crazy that this happened that way. And mind you, the first round pick is top 10 protected, but I mean, let's be honest. The reason they picked up this player is because they are trying to make the playoffs. So, I don't see this being the top 10 protected being anything big. In my opinion, I wish San Jose would have utilized their cap space a little bit more. I'm curious actually what their cap space actually is. So let's just jump over and look at their cap space real quick. So we'll go to Mike Hoffman's real quick, and we'll go to the San Jose Sharks. Let's see how many. See, I think they could have had a little bit more room to work with, right? So their current cap space, they had almost $4 million. If they would have been able to take on another player and then take on another pick or something like that, I think that would have been the smarter move. Again, I think that at this point, the problem is that the ball wasn't in Mike Greer's court. He didn't have an opportunity to. At this point, he was like, hey, I just need to move this guy because he's expressed that he was not planning on playing here. He said he wants to play for a contender. So essentially they were trying to move him and they were trying to save this cap space. And so I think it was a right now move. Looks not great because essentially all you got was a first round draft pick and a couple guys you can flip for gold picks at the deadline. So in my opinion, I would have liked them to got a little more, but again, Erik Karlsson's contract, by the way, he's a Norris winner. He won the Norris. He had over 100 points for a defenseman, which hasn't been done in over 30 years. And the problem is that you think about everyone was like, oh my gosh, San Jose didn't do that well. They actually did because Erik Karlsson was very good this year, but if you go to a couple years prior, he was not very good. So actually, let's run down to his stats real quick. You can see, actually we'll jump right over. So you can see, oh great, 101 points in 82 games. That's amazing. 35 points in 50 games, 22 points in 52 games, 40 points, 56. Like this guy was not unusable, but this is not you're paying $11.5 million to a player like this. So for 4 years, not looking good. And look at all these negatives. And look at, he's a playoff performer. When they went to the playoffs in 18-19, 19 games, 16 points. That is phenomenal. He can play in the playoffs. Look at this. Back at the Senators, 18 points in 19 games. So he can play. And so this is the kind of person you're looking for. You're looking for that player, but the problem is that his value was so low for so long that the fact that he was able to do this was honestly remarkable. The fact that he was able to put up over 100 points in 82 games as a defenseman. So essentially, you're looking at a new core four of Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, and Erik Karlsson. And I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what Letang can do. I'm excited about Malkin as well as Crosby. Imagine Erik Karlsson speeding up there along with Crosby on his tail, ready to go, ready to get fed that pass and get that goals in. I can see the Penguins making the playoffs this year. I totally can see it. I don't see the Islanders at this point. I mean, with the big moves, even Florida with the fact that, I'm going to do a whole video on this. So if you're looking to learn more about this, in my opinion, let me know. And catch you later. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Erik Karlsson trade, my breakdown and everything. If you want to know any more information, I'll be doing more videos in August, which I'm pretty excited about. And I'll be doing a full 32 every team breakdown, starting with Winnipeg, because no one starts with Winnipeg. Everyone starts with Anaheim because they start with A. But I'm going to go backwards. And so let me know what your thoughts are. Hit like, subscribe, and love you. Bye.